Hey, what's up, guys? Zenity here. I've been playing this mono black skeletons list over the past week, and it actually took me from Diamond Tier 2 all the way through to Mythic, and then I've been playing it in Mythic as well. So this list has been doing really, really well for me. So let's go ahead and go over it a little bit here. Starting here with a couple copies of Cecil, just a really solid one drop in an aggressive mono black deck. Um, Want to go over the Forsaken Miner Sephiroth package. So we've got 4 Forsaken Miner, 4 Timeline Color, and 3 Sephiroth. So with Forsaken Miner, what we can do is we can sack it to Sephiroth, and then Sephiroth says target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So what happens is you immediately commit a crime, meaning that Forsaken Miner can then come back from your graveyard if you pay 1 black. So you can sack Forsaken Miner to Sephiroth, pay 1 black, and Miner comes back right away. It's a really cool little combo there. We've also got the Timeline Color to pair with Sephiroth as well. He's also got haste, so he's just good in an aggressive deck anyway. But you can sack him. He goes to your graveyard, and then you can warp him from your graveyard to do it all over again and keep getting that value from Sephiroth. So we've got that kind of package in here. The other package that we run is the Skeletons package. So we've got a couple copies of Tiny Bones the Pickpocket, who says whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. So sometimes he'll hit, and you'll be able to get something like a Llanowar Elf, or you could even get something like a Badger Mole, Mana Dorks, things like that. So he can get some value sometimes. He's also just a 1/1 with Death Touch that can be kind of hard to get through depending on who you're up against. But we've got Tiny Bones for that skeleton package, and then we've got our Forsaken Miners are also skeletons. We run for a case of the Stashed Skeleton. This creates a 2/1 black skeleton creature token that has essentially can't block and menace. Then when our suspected skeletons die, and this becomes solved, and then it turns into essentially a demonic tutor. So we can sacrifice it to search for any card in our deck, and this comes up quite a lot in this deck. We can sacrifice it, find a piece of removal, maybe find a Sephiroth, find a Corpses of the Lost, and try to go from there. The last part of our skeleton package being, of course, Corpses of the Lost. This is a 3 mana enchantment that says skeletons you control get +1/+0 and have haste. When this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 black skeleton pirate creature token. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, you may pay 1 life. If you do, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So we're doing a lot of descending in this deck. Permanents are kind of constantly going to the graveyard, especially if you've got your Sephiroth out, sacking your Forsaken Miner, giving your Forsaken Miner haste, giving your suspected skeleton haste. Corpses of the Lost is absolutely an all-star in this deck, and the main reason we can even go skeleton aggro here. The Sephiroth package and the skeleton package work really well together. They obviously share that Forsaken Miner aspect of it, so it kind of ties it all together there. Everything else we're running is, Duress for the control matchup. We've got Stabs for early Mana Dorks or Badger Mole Cubs, Tragic Trajectory if we need to kill things bigger when we warp in our timeline colors. We've got Bitter Triumph to get rid of Planeswalkers. Nowhere to Run is good against mono white aggro. Shoot the Sheriff is just some good, somewhat conditional removal, but there's not a ton of outlaws running around in the format. Then we've got Strategic Betrayal for our Graveyard Hate, as well as can get around things like Hexproof and that sort of thing. So that's pretty much the rest of the deck. Obviously, we've got a Realm of Ko here just to make some 1/1s if we end up in that situation. We've also got our Soulstone Sanctuaries. These can become 3/3 Vigilant Skeletons, which get the attack bonus from Corpses of the Lost, which is really nice. This is an extremely aggressive list. I've been having a ton of fun with it. It feels really, really consistent. It can have really, really aggressive, explosive starts. Hopefully we'll see that in the next coming games. But yeah, we'll see you guys in game 1 here. All right, queuing up for game 1 here. Up against Illuminati. Hand looks pretty good. We can turn 1 Duress or Tiny Bones. We've got removal into a 2-drop, 3-drop, so let's go ahead and keep. Let's go ahead and duress turn 1 just to see what we're dealing with. Looks like aggro. We'll get rid of the Wild Ride then. Go ahead and play out our case. Emberheart. Let's play a Tiny Bones. And then we'll just get rid of the Emberheart with our Tragic Trajectory. Yeah, so we do want to remove the Slick Shot. Let's go ahead and Betrayal. Just get in for 3. Kind of want to keep holding up the Nowhere to Run just because they do have the potential to just play out a creature and burst us down. So want to keep the Nowhere to Run just in case they try anything tricky here. Go ahead and just take that one there. Question is, do we try to kill the show off here? We could just kind of keep doing what we're doing because we are winning. Fortunately, we don't draw a third land. Third land would be nice because then we could play out another creature plus hold up our Nowhere to Run. But for now, we're going to keep holding it up. They're probably just trying to do a 1-turn pump up Slick Shot, burst down with Sellsword. We'll go ahead and cast our Nowhere to Run. All right, looks like they were kind of relying on that Slick Shot show off to be able to do what they wanted. Wasn't going to work out, so they went ahead and conceded there. Awesome. Game 1 down. See you all in Game 2. Game 2 here against Lord Plum. Hand looks pretty decent. 2 Cecils isn't great. But we have a turn 1 play in Cecil and Tiny Bones. We've got turn 2 removal. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this. If they remove one of our Cecils, we have the other. One is going first, thinking long and hard about their mulligan here. So we are going to kill the Gene Pollinator just in case they have the Badger Mole, which they usually do. Leyline Weaver. Go ahead and play out Cecil and Tiny Bones. Plays out Tyvar. Okay. Let's just go ahead and swing with both. This way, if they block with Tyvar and then try to activate and make him indestructible, we can know where to run and kill him. He does decide to block the Cecil. These are totally fine with me. Okay. Both his creatures are down. We'll just drop Cecil here and hold up Nowhere to Run. Scrap Shooter. Go ahead and play out a color here on Warp, and then we'll swing with both. He does block Cecil. Perfect, no problem. We'll play out our miner here. Pop patch. So let's go ahead and get a color out. We'll swing with both. Yeah, no problem. Opponent's activating that. So before they can do that, let's just go ahead and get rid of one of the pop patch. They get to put 2 counters on their littler pop patch. But they were going to be able to do that no matter what. Take 5. Oh, they don't swing. I'm kind of okay with just playing out a color and swinging for 6. All of our creatures are pretty much able to come back anyway. They get 1 free block. Plays out a Land War Elves. Spend another land here. Sephiroth is a great draw. Let's go ahead and do that. Sack our miner, since he wasn't really going to be able to attack anyway. We don't really want to do this here because we just want to Betrayal. Sephiroth giving us that one little bit of life gain from losing life from warping these colors is nice. And now with Sephiroth out, warping in the colors and just swinging into them dying still does damage, still gains us life. That feels pretty good. Got 2 mana available here. Got a Bramble Familiar. Okay. Color number 1. Color number 2. Go ahead and swing in with both of those. Go ahead and get our miner back. Color goes to exile. Looks like they've got an Arubaroid here. So a little scary. Play out a color. Another color. So let's see here. Swinging with everything. If we make our Sanctuary a creature, we can sack it to Sephiroth without losing any attack damage. Then they will block Sephiroth. They'll block one of the 2/2s. So they would be at 7. Then they would be at 3. Sephiroth's not going to block. So I think that's kind of what we're going to be doing here. Yeah, we just pay all our mana for this. Swing out, sack the Sanctuary. We'll block Sephiroth and a 2/2. Fortunately, I don't think we have the damage here to actually be able to win. The Sephiroth's only going to trigger once there. and then they're going to be able to win on the crackback. So unfortunately, wasn't a lot we could do. I mean, even if I held Sephiroth back as a blocker and a timeline killer, hitting a Roboroid, I mean, they just lasted long enough to be able to cast a Bramble Familiar. So yeah, into Crater of Behemoth. It was the end of the game anyway, regardless of what we did there. So getting really close in game 2, being able to get them to 2, but not quite getting over that finish line. Maybe like one more removal spell would have done it, something like that. So a little bit unfortunate there, but sometimes that's how it lines up. So game 2 down, losing to green being able to outpace us a little bit. But cool. We'll see you in game 3. All right. Queuing up for the next game here against Floozy. Right. So we can turn one Duress. We can turn one Tiny Bones. We've got removal here as well as a timeline color. Could be a little slow depending on what our opponent is doing, but go ahead and just keep it. See what we can do with it here. It's like maybe up against Mill. Mirror. Oh, Sultai, something or other. Let's go ahead and Duress. Maybe it's Reanimator. All right, we'll take the Awaken. Okay. I got a Terror in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and warp in a color and then get rid of the Bookworm. Trying a second Tiny Bones is not the best here. Another Bookworm, which we saw. We knew that was coming. Thinking about their discard. Discards a land. Drawing Corpses of the Lost feels pretty bad here. Let's just go ahead and play out a Tiny Bones, I suppose. Feels pretty bad. Reader. Mills some lands and another greeter. Into a third greeter. All right, I've got Arden in the graveyard now. We could draw our Graveyard Hate. That would be awesome. Or another land would be nice. We'll go ahead and stab one of the greeters here. Another land is nice. We'll go ahead and play this out. Make the swings. We don't need to bring that back yet. We have the second corpses in hand. Awaken on the corpses. That's fine. Into an Overlord. Looks like they got their Carvo. They don't have Bringer in the graveyard, but yeah, we are in some trouble here for sure. Definitely in some trouble. But yeah, they're going to be able to Arden and start regaining life here. Yep. We get an Overlord. Bringer is in the graveyard now. So they'll go up to 10 here. They return a couple greeters. Yeah. So if we go corpses, that's 9. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to be enough. We'll swing out for 9. They block 1, take 6. And they just get to keep doing the Kavaro thing. Yeah, unfortunately, we just weren't quite able to apply enough pressure. Needed maybe an extra removal spell, or our Graveyard Hate would have been nice. Didn't see that either. So against a Graveyard deck, especially in best of 1, they were able to piece together their combo, take the win here because they're going to Bringer. Everything dies, but then everything comes back, and they get to swing out, or the terror triggers a million times. They'll just shoot us in the face and take the win. Very nice. Good game. A lot of triggers. Yeah. Yep, that's the power of the Sultai Reanimator deck. All right. Moving on to the next game here. We'll see you in the next one. All right, our fourth and final game here against Fandang. We have a pretty aggressive start, but on the draw, I really don't like to keep a hand without removal, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. This isn't much better, but I think we need to get rid of the Bitter Triumph here. Just a little bit of a slow hand. The rest is a good draw. Gives us a turn 1 play. We can get rid of their Zombify. Lattice lets them discard, draw 2. No turn 2 play for us. Got a Tyrant in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and get corpses down. Get in for 3. Another Lattice. Surveil here. Got our land. Let's go ahead and play a second corpses. Get in for 8. Now if they have a Zombify here, they can get back their Vaultborn Tyrant. It looks like they have it. They gain 3 life, draw a card. Let's go ahead and duress here. See what else they have. Oh, wow, okay. Get rid of one of these, I guess. Unfortunately, they can Foggy Swamp Visions, make a Palani. Maybe we just hold up to shoot the Sheriff. Hard to say. We could just play out Sephiroth. I don't think we're sacking one of these, though. Yeah, that Foggy Swamp Visions. They can 1, 2, 3, 4 play a land. Oh, it's tapped, so they can't do 5 for Palani. Unless they want to tap their Vaultborn Tyrant too, which they could. Like they're going to do that, probably. Craft Saheeli's Lattice with Dinosaur. Makes a Raptor. Okay. Go ahead and kill that. Play out a Forsaken Miner. Let's just full swing here. One is at 5. They can, I think they can craft again if they wanted to. I'll just play out a Hatcher. Okay. Yep, they sack. Do take damage there from that. So at least there's that. Now let's go ahead and make this a creature. Swing with everything here. Them blocking the Sanctuary, I guess, and the Miner means that we get to return the corpses back to our hand. So maybe we should have swung with Sephiroth there. We can put both of those back into our hand. Now we have the emblem, so when anything dies, they take 1. So gotta be pretty careful here. They can play a Gishath. Maybe they can't. I don't know if they don't. Maybe they don't have the mana for it. They're missing color. Kitty. It's not the right time, kitty. Bitter Triumph on their own creature, which ends up killing them. Wow, we managed to get through that. That was a kind of a crazy game, to be honest. They were able to get a Vaultborn Tyrant out, but couldn't play the Gishath quite yet. 2 Zombifies in the graveyard. We were able to get rid of one of them early on in the game. Managed to flip Sephiroth on that turn. That was pretty cool too. Kind of one of the first times I flipped Sephiroth with this deck. It doesn't really do that very often, but clearly every once in a while it can. Yeah, managed to get a win against Dino Reanimator there. Very cool. That's the last game. We'll go ahead and see you guys in the wrap-up. All right, welcome to the wrap-up. Yeah, so that was 4 best-of-1 games with our mono black skeletons. Had some games against creature-based decks, had some games against Reanimator decks, lost once to typical Sultai Reanimator, managed to win against Dino Reanimator. Hopefully you guys are able to see kind of the resilience of this deck, how you can kind of keep bringing back the Forsaken Miners, the Timeline Colors, using Sephiroth as card advantage, getting those extra pings in, a little bit of life gain here and there. My favorite card in the deck by far is just Corpses of the Lost. That card is super fun to cast. Just being able to give all your skeletons haste feels really, really good. Overall, I really like where this list is at for best of 1. Obviously, in best of 3, we would add a sideboard for more graveyard hate, more control hate, things like that. Probably put Duresses in the sideboard, put Strategic Betrayals in the sideboard, that type of thing. But for best of 1, this feels like a pretty good mix of Duresses for the control matchup, Strategic Betrayal for the graveyard matchup, Nowhere to Run for things like mono white. So yeah, overall, deck list feels pretty good. I think Tiny Bones is kind of an optional pick. He sometimes can be a little bit awkward. But a 1/1 Death Toucher, is certainly something that opponents do have to deal with from time to time. So he does kind of have a spot here as a skeleton. Overall, fun deck, really aggressive. Let me know in the comments below what changes you might make to this deck. If you would make any changes, would love to hear from you. Or if you have any suggestions on what I would play next. I'm thinking about a sort of Mardu control. I kind of want to tinker and build something around something with Mardu. That sounds super fun. Might give that a shot. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Feel free to remember to join the live stream at twitch.tv/Zenity. Hope to see you there. Appreciate you guys watching the videos and supporting and liking and subscribing and that type of stuff. Again, thanks so much for watching. Happy holidays. Have a great week. you next time.